Hello and welcome to the first episode of Focus on the Arts. I'm your host, Dylan Wright. This week, it is my pleasure to have on the show Professor David Jumper, Assistant Professor of Jazz Studies and Technology here at Marywood-University. Professor Jumper, thank you so much for being on the show. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me in the band, in the studio. We're happy to be here.
So tell me a little bit about yourself.
I've been teaching at Marywood for 7 years. I grew up in Northeast PA in Dallas, and I moved away for quite a while, most of my 20s, and then when I moved back, I started teaching at Marywood, so I've been here ever since.
So tell me a little bit about the Jazz Ambassadors. How'd that start off?
The Jazz Ambassadors is the student band at the school, and it was started when the music school started, but it's evolved into a special projects group, and every year when we have a jazz festival, we perform special works that are in with the theme of the festival for the year. So the band is made up of all students and alumni, and we rehearse on Monday nights at 6 o'clock every week.
That's really, and they're going to be playing in the Jazz Festival.
They
That's
are.
coming on March 31st, the weekend. So why don't you tell us a little bit about the Jazz Festival?
The ambassadors are opening up the festival on the Friday night, the 31st at 8 o'clock. And so we've been rehearsing this whole semester on the music that we're going to perform on that festival. It's a 3-day festival, and we're the first night. The second night is an intercollegiate jazz band, which is made up of students from 5 different colleges. We send invites out to about 20 different schools, and about 5 schools sent students back: Moravian, Bucknell, Indiana University of Pennsylvania, and Millersville and Marywood. So then we're going to put this band together of people that don't know each other, and they're going to perform a concert after only being together for a day. So it's going to be pretty interesting. So that's the second night. And then the third night is the super concert with the giant 40-piece studio orchestra, and we'll be performing 3 major suites that Benny Carter composed in the last about 40 years of his life. Benny Carter is one of the giants of jazz. They called him the king, because he did so much. He worked in the field of jazz and music for over 8 decades, if you can imagine. His first recording was into a big horn, one of those telegraphs, and by the time he passed away, he was doing email and writing his charts on computers. So he saw it all.
That is crazy.
So along with that long life, he wrote so much music, and a lot of great music that be. So it's really easy to do a festival when there's so much great music by Benny.
With the intercollegiate band, who came up with this idea? That seems like a pretty interesting thing to start off with.
In the classical genre, aside from what we do here, they do an intercollegiate band, and it's a concert band type of setting. So I kind of took the idea from that and ran with it for this jazz setting. So it's the first time that it's been done in Pennsylvania or any of the states around us, as far as I know. So it's pretty exciting.
It's almost the ultimate expression of jazz, just having a bunch of people come together that don't know each other and just playing the music.
It's very democratic.
Yeah. So what is the challenge of conducting a jazz orchestra as opposed to the different orchestras?
It's a tough question. The hardest thing about this is the style, because a lot of these guys didn't grow up when this stuff was written. So it's not just putting the music in front of them and playing it. It's, learning how to play it correctly, How often do you turn on the radio and hear Benny Carter? Well, most people don't even know who Benny Carter is because it's from the past. So learning the style is probably the most difficult part of this.
And it's almost like the jazz festival is acting as like a music education to the area. Is that right?
Yeah, it's really an outreach festival to the community and the students. We try to involve as many people as we can. So we have high schools coming in on the third day. We have two high schools and 2 middle schools coming from around the area. They're going to come in and perform and get feedback in a clinic. So we're stretching it all the way from, 9th graders all the way up through, the community and the adults. So we're trying to get everybody involved in the music.
That's all the time we have for this week's episode of Focus on the Arts. I want to thank Professor David Jumper and the Jazz Ambassadors for joining us on this week's show. We'll see you again next time.